Hi, this is Chef of Warshad. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make stewed pepper, steak, and onion. This is a very simple recipe that I came up with, and this has a lot of Asian influences. So let's go ahead and get started. Here I have my beef. And to this I'm going to add some black soy sauce. And you can get this at any Asian market. We have a really large Asian grocery store here, and I got it from there. But if you can't find black soy sauce, you can use regular soy sauce. And I'm just going to add in here about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to mix this together, and I'm going to allow this to sit to marinate for 15 minutes. And keep in mind that I'm going to be using very little salt because I also have hoisin sauce that I'm going to be adding to this. If you're using low sodium ingredients, you would need to adjust the salt to your taste. First thing, I'm going to just put my pot on high. This needs to go to high flame. And I have here some Asian chili oil. You can get this from the Asian market. If you don't like spicy things, then you don't have to use the sesame chili oil. You can use regular sesame oil. And I add some into the pot. And this is hot, so I'm going to add my onions and peppers first. Adjust the heat to medium. And this is going to cook until the onion is translucent. About 2 minutes. Okay, so I let this go for about 3 minutes, and it's has some nice little bit of caramelization here on medium heat, and I did stir this just to keep it from burning. So now I'm going to add the beef. If you feel like your pot needs a little bit more oil in it, add another tablespoon. But I think my pot should be good. I'm going to adjust the heat back onto a higher flame. I'm putting this on about 8. Give this a good stir. Now arrange your meat in the bottom of the pot. You just shake it in place. You want to at least have every piece of meat in this pot touching the bottom of the pot. I'm going to let this sear for about 30 seconds on the same heat that I just adjusted it to. 45 seconds. I'm going to give this another stir. Turn the heat back onto high. And as you see, there's some liquid coming out of the steak. So put this on high heat, and this is going to cook for about 2 minutes. I'm going to evaporate all the liquid out of this steak. Okay, this has been going for a few minutes, and almost all the liquid's out of the steak, so you don't want it to be completely dry. Now I'm going to add my brown sugar. Brown sugar gives it nice sweetness to this. This is kind of a sweet, savory, and spicy dish. And I have some salt and pepper. Remember, it's the taste, just to kind of add a little bit of salt to it, but we have other things that have salt in it. Give this a mix, and it will start to thicken up because of the sugar. And I know some people are going to say, you're using the wrong utensil. I'm using this because wooden spoons They absorb a lot of things, and I don't want to cross-contaminate flavor, so I am going to be dumping my wooden spoons to get some plastic spoons that look like wooden spoons. So here I got hoisin sauce, so I'm going to add the hoisin sauce. This has a lot of salt. I'm sorry, not hoisin sauce, but oyster sauce. And this has a little salt in it. And if you know people who are allergic to seafood, you don't have to use the hoisin sauce. If you know people who are allergic to seafood, you don't have to use the oyster sauce. You can use hoisin sauce in place. It's the same amount that you see listed in the video. Now I'm going to add some water. Just enough to cover the meat. I'm going to allow this to come to a boil, and then going to reduce the heat and let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so. This doesn't take very long to get done, depending on your cut of beef. If you're using stewing beef, it may take a couple of hours. But I am using fajita beef, and this cooks very quickly, so it's not going to take long at all. Okay, this is now coming to a boil. And you want this to be a full rolling boil. So once you see the bubbles in the middle, you have a full rolling boil. And you see here, let's move the camera so you can see. This is now at a full rolling boil. So now I'm going to put the lid on. And this is going to go down to a medium flame. I'm going to check this in about 10 minutes to stir, just to make sure there is no burning. If you see a lot of your liquid start to disappear, just replenish it, just enough to cover the beef. But this is going to cook for 20 minutes. I'm going to test it for tenderness, and it should be done. Okay, this is 10 minutes later. Gonna give this a stir, and I only lost a little bit of liquid so far. When the meat is still pretty covered, so I'm not gonna add any more liquid yet. So I'm gonna put this back on, the lid back on, and go for another 10 more minutes. Okay, so it's been another 10 minutes. I just want to take the lid off, give this a quick stir, and the water is about halfway to the meat. And it's going to be a pretty thick sauce, as you see here. There's no burning or nothing like that. But if you're using a different cut of beef, which I'm about to demonstrate here, I'm going to show you how tender this is. It just pulls apart. So this is pretty tender. So you can do that test, or you can just simply just taste it. It's extremely tender, lots of flavor. So here I made a slurry. And this is just equal parts of water and cornstarch. I have here a quarter cup of cornstarch with a quarter cup of water. And just pour this over the beef. I'm going to turn the heat up a bit. I'm just going to give this a quick stir. And when you mix water and cornstarch together, always use very cold water. If you don't use cold water, it will clump up. It will be extremely hard to mix together. And as you see here, the sauce just got extremely thick. This is what we want. I'm going to add to this about start off with a half a cup of water. Okay, mix it, and then allow everything to heat up to see how thick it is. And this is where you're really going to have to adjust it. If it's too thick, add more water. If it's not thick enough, add more of the cornstarch mixture. Just make another batch and add it to it. No, I turned my flame back on high. So I'm gonna, this has a very nice body. Sauce pours. And I'm gonna add another half a cup of water. So I like my sauce to be not super thick, but if you want it to be thick, don't add any more water at this point. But I like my sauce to be thick, but sort of runny because this is going to be served on top of rice. And I like all the rice to absorb the sauce. The sauce is not going to be overwhelming because it's not too thick. So I'm going to bring this back to a boil, cover it, let it simmer for about 5 minutes. So it's covered back to a boil now. I'm going to cover it and set my timer 5 minutes, and I'm going to reduce the heat. And I got it on about 3. Okay, this is it. I'm going to give this a stir. And you can serve this however you like. You can serve this on top of white rice, which this is how I'm going to serve it. I'm going to do a video demonstration on how to make white rice also, so you guys will be able to see that. So this is the pepper steak, and I'm definitely going to give this a try. This has the perfect amount of spices. You have a nice kick from the chili sesame oil. It's not too spicy, but a nice little kick of heat. I hope you guys try this recipe and enjoy it. Please do not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.